In this lesson, we're going to talk about both multiplying and dividing integers because the rules for multiplying and dividing integers are actually exactly the same. So this is still part of Unit 1. We're going to color that purple since Unit 1 is a purple unit. All right, here we go. So the rule, we're going to start with the integer rule this time. If the signs are the same, then the product is positive. If the signs are opposite, then the product is negative. So this rule is actually a lot easier than the rule for adding or subtracting integers. A little frog over here giving us a helpful hint, only in math do two wrongs make a right, meaning that two negatives, so if you multiply together a negative times a negative, you'll actually get a positive answer. All right, so let's look at our examples down here. The first one, we have 7 times 8. Signs are the same. We have two positive numbers. We have a positive 7 and a positive 8. So we have two positive numbers. So my answer should be positive. So then I would just multiply. 7 times 8 is 56. So my final answer is 56. Positive, since my signs were both positive. All right, number 2, I have a positive 6 and then a negative 6. So my signs are opposite. So since my signs are opposite, I'm going to refer to back up here. If the signs are opposite, then the product is negative. So my answer is going to be negative. 6 times 6 is 36. And we know since the signs are opposite, it's a negative 36. All right, the next one we have a negative 9 and a positive 2. So my signs are opposite. Meaning again, my answer is going to be negative. So I have a negative 9 and a positive 2. So 9 times 2 is 18. Answer, negative. The last one here is a little bit tricky. It says negative 4 squared. So if we think about this as a multiplication problem, it's actually negative 4 times negative 4. That's what that exponent means. So if I look here, I've got two negative signs, a negative and a negative, so my signs are the same, meaning that my answer is going to be positive. 4 times 4 is 16. With matching signs, answer is a positive 16. So we can show this with an illustration on a number line, and actually it's a pretty good illustration. The number line can provide us with a great picture for integer multiplication. So if I look at this first number line, I notice I've got 4 arrows here. And each arrow is jumping 2 spaces. So notice the first arrow goes from 0 to 2, the second one goes to 2 to 4, and then we get 4 to 6, and 6 to 8. So each arrow is 2 jumps long. So my expression is 2 for the length of each jump. So that's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2, there's a 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. They're jumping 2 spaces. Okay, and I actually am jumping 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So it's 2 times 4. And my answer is where I end. So 2 times 4 is 8. All right. If I look at the second one, the length of my arrows, it goes from here to here, here to here. Okay, and they're actually negative 3, so I'm counting backwards. I'm counting negative 3, negative 3. So the length of each of those little jumps is negative 3. I have 2 of them, and I land on negative 6. So my answer would be negative 6. Excuse me. Next one, if you take a look at this one, this might be a little bit confusing at first, but let's start with this section right here. So I have 1, 2, 3 arrows, and each one is jumping from here to here, here to here, here to here, right? And we're jumping negative 2 each time. So negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So I've got negative 2 jumps, and I've got 1, 2, 3 of them. So I have negative 2 jumps, and I have 3 of those jumps. And then I'm taking the opposite of all those jumps by traveling back from here all the way to here. So I'm again taking the opposite of all of those jumps. So I end up with a negative 3 there, and my final answer lands on 6. So negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. This one's a little bit confusing. You probably won't see that one very often on an SOL test or something like that. These two are probably the ones that you'll need to know most often. All right, so let's look at dividing integers. Exact same rule. Okay, the rule for dividing integers are the same, or the rules for dividing integers are the same as those for multiplying integers. And in case you haven't done it yet, again, this is Unit 1, so we're still coloring purple. Okay. If the signs are the same, the quotient is positive. If the signs are opposite, then the quotient is negative. So take a look at this first example. We have 144 divided by negative 12. We have a positive up top, we have a negative on the bottom, so my signs are opposite. So therefore my answer is negative, according to the rule right here. So then I just divide. 144 divided by 12 is 12. My answer had to be negative, so I plug in a negative sign. All right, 425 divided by 25. I've got a positive number here, I've got a positive number here. My signs are the same, so my answer is positive. Okay, and this looks like it's something that could be pretty difficult to do, except that we can kind of think about our times tables here. So I know that 25 times 1 is 25, 25 times 2 is 50, 25 times 3 is 75, 25 times 4 is 100. Okay, you can keep going with those until you get all the way up to 425. So 25 times 5 is 125, 25 times 6 is 150, 27 times 7 is 175, 27 times, or sorry, oof, that should be a 25, that should be a 25, 25 times 8 is 200, okay, keep going, 25 times 9 gives you 225, 25 times 10 gives you 250, 25 times 11 gives you 275. So notice I'm really just adding 25 each time I go up in my times tables here. 25 times 12 is 300. We're getting closer. 25 times 6 is 325. 25 times 7. No, where did I get that 6 from? I'm not sure. It should be 13. 14 is 2350. 25 times 15 is 375. 25 times 16 is 400. We need 425. Now, to give us one more. 25 times 17 is 425. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the answer is 17, and it's positive. So if you don't know how to do the long division in order to figure this question out, you could always use your multiplication tables. Okay. Next one, we have negative 80 divided by 10. So we have a negative number and a positive number. Signs are opposite. So my answer is going to end up being negative. 80 divided by 10 is 8. And since opposite signs, we're going to put a negative. And last but not least, I have negative 60 divided by 12. I've got a positive and a positive. So the signs are the same. My answer is, sorry, I don't have two positives. I have two negatives. Negative 60, negative 12, signs are the same. Answer is positive. And 60 divided by 12 is 5. And since their signs are the same, answer is a positive 5. So hopefully this helps you with dividing integers. Again, the rules are exactly the same for multiplying and dividing. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are opposite, then the answer is negative. Have a good night, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.